Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer spoiler tournament. We are just getting underway. Today is the second day of the tournament, and we are featuring MrScruffNinjaTuna going up against Pikapals in the first race for each of them. I'm Drosy. I'm here with Hammerbro. How are you doing tonight?
Well, let's see. It's been about a year since I've been able to calm one of these spoiler log races, and this is one of my favorite types of race. So I am absolutely thrilled to be here. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the spoiler log race, basically how it works is we have 15 minutes before they officially start. They are given the spoiler log that has all of the locations. It also tells them the tree poles, what the crab hordes, and everything required to get into anything pretty much. And they have about 15 minutes to get their route all set up and make themselves as best of a path through this seed as they can. The big difference we're going to see here that you're basically going to see everyone balance as they go through is what safeties am I grabbing? How far out of the way are they? And what am I going to end the seed with? Because sometimes half magic is close and you can grab it, sometimes it's not. Lamp is another big one. We might see some seeds, we might not, depending on where the fire rod is and how easy the lamp is to grab. We're going to be underway in just a moment here, and this is going to be fast and furious. Generally, we're looking for a finish somewhere within about 10 minutes of an hour in either direction. So if you haven't seen one of these, grab your seatbelts and let's get ready to go, because it's going to be fast.
And also, as they're about to get underway, notice that we've already marked the dungeons, which are pendants and crystals, and the medallion requirements for Mire and Turtle Rock. That's because the runners already know this, so you are not going to see checks from either of them. And this is fascinating that despite having the same information, they have chosen different routes from the start.
Yeah, very much so. It looks like MrScruffNinjaTuna over here is getting ready for a Houlihan room to grab some rupees early on. Meanwhile, Pikapals is going to make an attempt at grabbing some bombs here, and that was actually really nice. Those are both 50-50 drops there, and he went 2 for 2, so really nicely done.
Yeah, now one thing about spoiler races that can lead to different routing is that these tend to be low percent races. You don't want to have to grab too much money or too many heart containers, mail upgrades, things like that, if they're going to be too far out of your way. So a lot of it is figuring out your own comfort zone, and Pikapals picks up the boots in the back of the tavern. That's always nice. Figuring out your own comfort zone of how many safeties do I need to feel comfortable getting through this without dying at every turn.
Yep, that is the tightrope that each and every one of these runners is going to walk for every race, and it's kind of fun to watch. Sometimes it works out spectacularly, and sometimes it blows up in their face. This is going to be a really heavily execution-based seed, because we know where everything is, so routing's not going to be a big deal unless someone makes a mistake somewhere. So we're just going to see runners go, 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 go.
And we have quite the stack of Rico today, as Pikapals has already picked out the Fire Rod, the Quake Medallion, in addition to those boots.
Yep, and it looks like we might not be done yet, as we are headed into Blind's hideout, so we might have some more good stuff here waiting for us. Alright, so there's a glove, a hook shot. Nice boomerang. That might be needed later.
Just like, let's just grab everything out of here because there's so much useful stuff in here. And there's our first sword.
Yep, not bad. We came away in under 3 minutes with boots, a nice weapon, a sword on top of that, and that's what happens when you initiate a pyramid scheme and it actually works out. Thanks, Bottle Vendor.
Yeah, not too often you see the bottle vendor having such a good deal. I wonder if this is going to be a Zora seed or if Scruff is just looking to grab some bottles and fill them up. Oh, and there were our flippers in the uncle chest.
Yeah, so we've had quite a bit here through this initial sphere of locations. It's really honestly a good thing this is a spoiler log race, because if not, it'd be kind of difficult to figure out where the seed would be telling you to go.
Now, since both of these runners can very easily fake flipper, and especially with the boots they could do a water walk if they wanted to, those flippers might be hinting at something, like perhaps that green pendant swamp sitting on the tracker there.
Oof. It's always green pendant swamp.
Pika's picking up some money out of Mini Moldorm Cave, and there are the mitts.
Alright, so we are just a Moon Pearl away from Dark World access over on that side. Meanwhile, we're getting a Bonk Rocks check from...
You were saying...
there we go!
Okay. So yeah, how often is your entire Dark World access sitting in Sphere 1? Well, I guess that was Sphere 2, but the boots were so early anyway. I don't care that this is a spoiler race, that is not how early you normally see Dark World access.
So that was Powder on the ledge. And with Zora being out of reach right now for Pikapals, that Powder is what we're going for. This could be a safety play. Powder is an excellent safety, especially in the later dungeons on low health. But more likely than not, it's going to be a magic bat play. So that'll be fun.
And that's one of the few things that the flippers are actually useful for, even when you know how to fake flipper and water walk, because that jump down from Zora, you basically otherwise have to do an Ancilla glitch or charge a water walk way in advance and store it until you get to Zora, so it makes life a lot easier for the runners to have grabbed those flippers to get the powder.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where even if you can do the glitch, it's probably going to be faster just to go ahead and grab the flippers, especially because it only took, was it like a 20-second run over to the passage chest there? That's not too much time.
So it looks like Pika's going to buy some bombs here.
That's really not a bad idea given the situation. If you've looked at the drops and the tree poles and that, and you're just not seeing any bombs anywhere, you know where the shops are. Just go ahead and get rid of it. All right, 6.5 minutes in. Let's go have some fun on the Dark World. 4 hearts.
And with those bombs out, it looks like Pika's going to the brewery. Get the flute, nice.
That's kind of a funny spot for that flute, especially because we're currently lacking the mirror.
Though if we don't need Swamp, it's possible we don't need the mirror either. It's always nicer to have, but it depends where it is.
Yeah, that is a fair point there. The digging game is not nice. I do believe the spoiler log actually tells you how many digs you need too, so you don't have to go into this blind, as MrScruffNinjaTuna grabs the powder as well. And that is a second sword for Pikapals, so we are doing pretty well so far with Master Sword.
Yeah, which is a nice thing to have when you're in the Dark World with 4 hearts and green mail. Now remember, these runners do know exactly where the mail upgrades are and where the extra heart containers are. I would guess they'll probably finish with about 8 or 9 heart containers. Also probably depends how easy the mail upgrades are to get.
Yeah, the amount of hearts grabbed and the mails and the mail and related stuff is all dependent upon where it is. I've seen races finish with anything between 10 hearts and 5 hearts. And sometimes you just gotta, oh, there's the book. Okay. This is throwing us for quite a loop so far. Nice spin speed there. You don't see that one used very often.
Yeah, and Pikapals is wasting no time activating that flute that Scruff has just dug up. So, at less than 10 minutes in, we have Dark World access, we have an active flute, a heck of a lot of items.
One thing that's very conspicuous by its absence, though, is the hammer. Hello, Half Magic. How are you today?
And Pika's going straight into Desert, which, with a fire source and boots, we know he can beat.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. This is going to be the first dungeon we can walk into and take out on either side here. We're going to be running through stuff. This is actually one of the more difficult parts about the spoiler log, as a lot of these chests will tell you what they have in the NMG version. So if you're running through it and you don't know what the compass chest is in Desert, you might have a difficult time.
Yeah, so for example, I think that chest that Pika got the small key out of is labeled Map Chest. And that piece of heart was in the Compass chest.
Yep, so having some knowledge of the game in its vanilla form is helpful, especially in terms of finding out where particular things are. Isn't as big of a deal in smaller dungeons like Eastern or Desert, but if you don't know where a chest is in somewhere like Pod, you might be in for a fun time.
Though if you do know the chests, like if it says big key in map chest, then okay, you don't necessarily need to go to the right side. And there's the mirror in the big chest of Desert.
Alright, so with that mirror and flippers in hand, I'm starting to think that Swamp might be a thing, Drosy.
Just need the hammer for it, right?
Yeah, which is just about the only thing we're missing at this point.
Ooh, and that's
Pikapals does grab that half magic.
Yeah, so there's an example of, weighing the trade-offs for safeties. That was a really easy safety to detour to get, so just about any runner is going to be willing to spend the extra 5 seconds to get half magic, especially this early in the game.
Yeah, especially with the fact that we had the boots, it was literally 5 seconds to dash there and back. So even if the half magic doesn't save you any time at all throughout the game, you've lost 5 seconds, that's not too bad. And half magic is almost definitely going to save you sometime.
Yeah, especially since we currently have a fire rod and no lamp. If the runners choose to do this race in the dark because the lamp winds up being in an out-of-the-way location, the fire rod is their only fire source, and it's much better to have half magic with that.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And see, since we haven't seen that lamp yet, it's either hiding somewhere along the way, or we're just not going to see it today. As Landmo not being terribly friendly with that first hop there.
But this half magic's paying off already. Pikapals would not have had enough magic to fire rod Landmo otherwise.
Yeah, that would have been sword spin strats there towards the end, because yeah, that took quite a few more shots than was required, especially for the since I had to use 3 on the lanterns as well.
Now, what's intriguing just looking at both players' trackers is that Scruff went to get the shovel, and Pika did not. That's really been the only substantive difference in what they've done so far, and is also roughly why Pika is a minute or 2 ahead.
Yeah, the shovel was in the back of a skate, so that was a separate trick in and of itself. A lot of the racing here, in terms of chess and kind of moving around in strategy, is actually done on the fly, because like regular NMG races or other races of the vanilla game, unlike most randomizers, runners are allowed to watch this restream. They can watch each other's streams individually. They can watch the restream here if they want to suffer through my terrible commentary. So they are allowed to just kind of watch where their opponent is and determine what they will or won't grab based upon that. So if someone has a big lead, you might see a couple more safeties, and if someone is running behind a little bit, you might see them skip a couple of things that they may have otherwise grabbed just to try and get those couple seconds back.
And while we were saying that, Pikapals is already in Blind's attic.
Yeah,
Not
dungeons. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, not bothering with any chests in Thieves Town so far, except to get the big key, which is mandatory.
Yeah, dungeons tend to be quite a bit quicker when you can go mode everything.
Scruff also having his half magic grab payoff there against Landmos.
Yep, and that is 1 crystal apiece at just under 16 minutes. Pikapals already well on the way to 2 here. I would like to point out, still no hammer.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that because it means clearly there's nothing in the big chest. Because you don't want to double dip Thieves Town if there's any way you can avoid that. And we're going to have a 5-heart green male blind fight, so let's see how well Pikapals sticks to the script here. If you know the script well, 5 hearts green male is perfectly doable. If you get off script, you can be in trouble in a hurry. And that was flawless.
Yep, Pikapals going for the first of the 2 options you mentioned, and just not really mattering how many hearts they had. Your health doesn't matter if you don't get hit. Meanwhile, MrScruffNinjaTuna here grabbing the bullfrog.
And is about to make use of that powder. And Pika is heading to the same place without even grabbing Jeremiah. Well, that answers the hammer bit.
That's not a fun place for that item. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I mean, it could be worse. It could be in Pyramid.
I said it wasn't a fun place. I didn't say that was a full-on terrible place. Goodness gracious, Ross.
And it's interesting, Scruff is doing hammer pegs before even bothering to return the smith.
That smith may have been a moment of muscle memory. So we'll see what happens with... Oh, hello, that's up.
Yeah, that's nice. We're getting, I mean, we can't call it go mode because the runners were in go mode from the start of the race, but in terms of items we know are required, we're getting pretty close here. Though I'm guessing the runners won't want to do Master Sword Silverless if they can at all avoid it.
That is fair. The only other things we're looking for here are the Ice Rod of Doom and the Cane of Samaria. As MrScruffNinjaTuna here is grabbing the purple chest. Something that Pikapals left behind, so we'll see what is in the lunchbox today.
So there's an example of comfort level with safety. Scruff wanted that lamp. There are some dark rooms that he feels are enough of a risk that he'd rather spend the extra time to get that lamp, and Pikapals feels comfortable enough with the dark rooms that he's just gonna go for it.
Meanwhile, we are having twinned movements towards Swamp Palace here. This dungeon is full clearable. So we're going to get a clear here, and hopefully not too much in here. Only thing we're missing in terms of definitely going to be grabbing, like I said before, that Ice Rod and Samaria. Another sword would be nice. Silvers would be nice. Those are the only things that we strictly speaking.
Nail upgrade would be nice when you have this few hearts. I mean, you probably want to get your health to the point where a Ganon hug isn't a one-hit KO.
Yeah, and that is another big difference between a regular rando seed and a spoiler log seed. In a regular rando seed, most of the time you're going to end with more than a full row of hearts, which at the high level of execution doesn't really matter too much what mail you have. Most runners are going to be okay with having 11, 12, 13 hearts and green mail. For a spoiler log, if you're sitting on, I don't know, let's say 4 or 5 hearts, that blue mail is going to be incredibly useful if you can get your hands on it.
And the thing about Swamp, remember, is that it is not just a pendant, it is a green pendant, so it's entirely possible that Sahasrahla...
Drawsy, that is not nice. Why would you put that on our poor runners?
Because the seed's been too nice otherwise. Okay, so Pikapals is gonna go for the bomb setup to dive her down. Gets it first try.
And that's why we saw a bomb setup for Diver Down, because there's a Cane of Samaria.
While Scruff is going the more conventional route of pushing the statue, and Pika goes back and grabs a tempered while he's at it. And nothing on Sahasrahla.
MrScruffNinjaTuna is carrying on now. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, he actually went and got that tempered sword first because of his slightly different routing. It was a bit easier to go into Waterfall Room and then double back to get the cane.
That makes sense, and that is a huge advantage. Tempered sword makes everything much easier, especially a lot of these bosses. Cold Stare included, where Pikapals is headed right now.
Yeah, and with the Icebreaker glitch, which I'm guessing Pikapals is going to show us in about a minute, being legalized, having that Cane of Samaria in hand before going into ice is really nice.
Yeah, I don't know why they call it Icebreaker. It should be called Ice Fixer because it fixes Ice Palace, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, and Scruff is also going for ice and decided to grab an arrow upgrade, probably to get a full quiver, because those upgrades cost 100 like they would in the vanilla game, though in this case you just grab them rather than having to keep tossing rupees. But they also refill your supply of either bombs or arrows to the new maximum capacity. So if you're low on arrows and happen to be in the area, it's a good way to get a refill. And there's a French vanilla blue mail.
I mean, I guess out of all the places to put it, that's not terrible.
So Scruff doing the same thing, planning to do Icebreaker here. Gets it very cleanly.
You know, that shorter sprite was hilarious because the block completely and totally eclipsed the Goomba.
I like the blue Goomba, by the way.
The Bloomba.
So, for Scruff with 4 hearts, that blue mail is absolutely necessary because otherwise Cold Stare would be a one-hit KO. Speaking of Cold Stare, was there a Cold Stare on Pikapals' side? I think I missed it.
I don't know. I looked away for about 4 seconds, and I came back, and there was just, like, exploding cotton candy. So I don't think so. I think Cold Stare might be on, hello, Red Mail!
Yeah, so we have a French vanilla mail upgrade and a vanilla mail upgrade sitting in Ice Palace.
We have some Hershey sauce to go with that? That sounds like a lot of ice cream.
Putting French vanilla and vanilla together seems like a really weird combination for a Sunday, though.
Well, we don't have to worry about that. It's Monday today.
Just feels like Sunday because it's a holiday.
I'd say I'm sorry, but we all know that's a lie.
And apologies to viewers who are not in the US or the UK and therefore had a regular Monday today.
That's fair. I guess we should apologize to them. And to everyone else who just works on Memorial Day, because that's not necessarily a thing that everyone gets off. But hey, there we go. So we've got another crystal for MrScruffNinjaTuna. So we're up to 2 there, 3 on Pikapals, and we are headed to the Sage's Closet for the nice rod.
So that is item go mode, and all Pikapals needs to do is clean out dungeons, grab big keys, and hopefully try to get a few more hearts, because 5 is still a small number even with blue mail.
Honestly, this setup is great here. You've got Pod into Eastern, and then you're looking at Hera and TR, so that's pretty clean. We didn't even have to come up the mountain for anything, so that's not a terrible seed to be looking at. I mean, the hammer was in an awful spot, but other than that, it's not too bad.
So Goomba's now going and doing Thieves Town. As we saw, there are no useful items in here, so it's really just grab the big key, bomb the attic, get blind, and get out of there.
Yeah, the thing that stinks about Thieves Town, though, is because you have to bomb the attic and because you have to go grab the maiden, you're walking by everything. So Pod actually becomes one of the more confusing dungeons, potentially, based upon where that big key is and if there are any items in here you need to grab. Obviously, for Pikapals, this is a go mode pod, so it's a bit easier. But you need to figure out how many keys you need.
There's clearly something he's grabbing from the back, or he wouldn't have come back here since silver arrows. There you go. He already had the big key and a small key to get him through if he had gone right side.
So all things considered here, this seed has not been friendly in terms of health, but Tempered Sword Silvers is not something we're going to sneeze at ever, so not too bad there.
But still, both of our runners are in one-hit KO territory with Ganon based on their current health and armors.
Yep, and one thing you'll notice for a lot of these races is that's how it's going to be. So, I mean, hopefully we'll get a slew of health here coming up in one of these dungeons. We can just go ahead and grab a couple hearts and breathe a little easier, but I would not be surprised to see our runners drop into Ganon at below 6 or 7 hearts. I don't think they're going to be grabbing really anything, so it'll be fun, and this is one of those modes where mistakes can happen, because no matter who you are, at 5 hearts, you can make a mistake. Very nicely done with that fire rod. That's the big trick to this turtle room. If you don't have the lamp, go ahead and make sure you whack one of those with a fire rod, and then it's not too bad. If those turtles get in the way of those of the torches, though, things can get dicey really quick.
Yeah, and that room, Pikapals did a great job with it. It's only a little bit dicey without a lamp when you're on such low health, because, you know, there's a small parade of terrapins in there, and you do want to make sure they don't hit you, but Pika is just not getting hit by anything. He's still at full health and taking down Helmasaur.
Yeah, this is some really, really clean running that we're seeing right now. Meanwhile, MrScruffNinjaTuna probably going to be heading over to the eastern area and double clear some crystals here.
Yep, as you said, these are crystals 4 and 5, and then 6 and 7 are on Death Mountain, so not too much walking around the overworld the runners are going to have to do left.
Alright, so as MrScruffNinjaTuna here grabs his ice rod, Pikapals is looking for that big key to eastern.
Okay, guess we can go mode the rest of that dungeon.
Yeah, this seed is getting absolutely demolished by both of our runners. And
we could see a sub 50 at this rate.
Whew, that would depend upon that GT big key, actually. But yeah, that's definitely possible.
Very nice shots with the silvers there on Pika's side. Again, good use of the fire rod in the dark room there, because this is another dark room that if you don't have the lamp and you can't get the torches lit with the fire rod, or don't have the fire rod to begin with, it is very difficult. Get the torches lit and it's quite easy.
Yeah, the fun, or maybe not so fun thing about these Igors is that they do 1 heart of damage. They don't care what you're wearing. They don't care what color your clothing is. 1 heart of damage. When you have 5 hearts, you don't really want to take 1 heart of damage if you can help it.
And with Pikapals firing off all these silvers, let's see if Scruff picks up the silvers as well. He is picking up the blue cane there. And the fact that he's gotten himself 2 keys leads me to believe that he is going to go for the silvers here.
Yeah, that does seem likely. 3 keys.
Extra key for safety.
It's not a bad idea. Pod routing is hard. There's a lot of key doors.
Yeah, actually, did he unlock the middle door in front? I'm not even sure at this point.
We'll find out in a minute.
Okay, that's why the extra key.
Interesting that we're getting a drop down here. Oh, okay, that's where the big key was. I missed it the first time.
Yeah. Interesting routing overall for, getting the necessary number of small keys and the big key and the silvers. But Pod is tricky to figure out in a spoiler race what the optimal routing is. Like, I honestly don't know if that's faster or slower or what.
It's difficult to find the optimal route in Pod in just a regular old randomizer. And you can sit there and think about it the whole time too. It's just, yeah, it's Pod is a mess, honestly. Alright, speaking of a mess and things that can kill you in one shot, welcome to Turtle Rock, where the Pokies hurt and the Chain Chomps hurt more.
Now, Turtle Rock, given the key layout, you usually have to full clear the first several chests anyway, because almost all of them are going to be small keys that you're going to need.
Yep, the 2 big saving points are the potential to skip Laser Bridge, which only happens once in a while if you're really lucky, and the potential to skip the big chest. Whoa, be careful. That's a lot of damage. Woohoo! Hello, Butter.
Yeah, Pika really needs to be careful here. And this is an example, both runners are on so low health. It looks like MrScruffNinjaTuna is a dungeon plus behind, but either runner could take a death at basically any point, and that can change the whole tempo of the game.
Yes, because at that point you're not just worried about the time loss, you're worried about potentially being more careful the second time around, which is just going to lose you more time. Nicely done Chain Chomp room though there, that's a boatload of hearts. I'm pretty sure that's a one-hit KO at this point with 4 hearts blue mail.
Even blue mail? I'm not sure. Could be.
I think so, man, they hit hard. And yeah, as chat pointed out, that hook shot to fill up 2 hearts right after the crystal roller room was very nicely done.
This health situation is crazy. I mean, I've seen enough spoiler log races. I know runners tend to do it on low health, but 4 and 5 hearts respectively, even for a spoiler log race, that is really low health.
Well, so the problem is that usually for these, you're going to stay away from the pieces of heart because they're just not generally going to be worth your time. And the full hearts are not in fun places. I will go ahead and say that there are 2 full hearts sitting in Pendant Skull Woods. So we weren't going to get either of those, and that's 2 just gone right out the window out of the 10 total that are there. You're just never going to see those. So that's that one hurts a little bit.
And I think there was another one in Meyer Shed, and we're just not going to the Meyer area because we don't need to go into Meyer.
Yep, and with the mirror sitting in Desert, we couldn't even use the back door of Desert to consider getting that full heart there to help things out. It just wasn't going to happen. Very nicely done, Dark Room there by Pikapals.
And he stole the key from above, so we will not be seeing Laser Bridge.
Yeah, this was a very, very ideal Turtle Rock. Sometimes you can get key layouts that don't make that possible. We were able to get one today. Meanwhile, MrScruffNinjaTuna is having a little bit of fun with that red eye door. Those suckers can get just a little bit skinnier with your arrows and have it just miss. I've had that happen more than my fair share of times, I feel.
Certainly nice to be doing it on silvers, though, when it only takes 1 hit instead of 2. Speaking of hits, Pika did not go for the 0-cycle Trinex, but he's having no trouble with the 1-cycle here. Yeah, Trinex can take a bite out of you even with blue mail.
That was scary. You just see the health go down to 2 hearts. You're like, oh, get the swinging, get the swinging. Okay, we're good.
And he didn't take any safety exits either. If Trinex had gotten him, he would have been back to the beginning of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that would have been probably about 3 minutes lost right there, at least, maybe 4. That would have put it back into very, very close contention here. All right, so we're gonna have.
Go ahead. Oh, I was just gonna say neither runners picked up any bottles either. I didn't even look where the bottles.
It's okay, I don't think the runners looked where the bottles were either. They probably just looked at Sick Kid and went, okay, that's useless, and then just kept right on moving on.
There was one in the Dark Maze, there's one on Laser Bridge. Yeah, not great place.
It's not just that, it also depends on what's on it. Nicely done there. That is not an easy setup for the Harapot, grabbing its second try with a couple of buffers. Making this dungeon, yeah, just pretty much non-existent. You go from the beginning of the dungeon to the end of the dungeon, and that's all there is to it. Alright, so, there are 22 locations in the basement of Gant's Tower, I should say, as Mandalore tries to take a bite out of Pikapals PV here. 22 locations that could contain that big key. So, get your guesses in chat, 1 through 22. Actually, let's not do that. You're going to have to give me a location. I need a room and a chest if there are multiple chests in the room, since obviously we're going to be skipping a bunch of stuff. I have not personally looked because I love making guesses for this. Drossi, did you take a peek at GT today?
I did take a peek, so I can't say anything because I am highly biased.
For shame. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give a shout out to Mercer here, who likes common these two, and I'm gonna say vanilla. I'm gonna say front chest behind Ice Armos. That's where I'm putting it. So we'll see. I have no idea. I avoid GT because I love doing this. So good luck, guys. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Well, Pika's going left, so it's presumably not on the right side.
Health, 20% increase.
Yeah, an honest-to-goodness heart container. Still one-hit KO from a Ganon hug.
I mean, unless we have another full heart sitting around here, that's where we're going to be staying, unfortunately. Wow! That was really nicely done.
He makes it look easy. Meanwhile, having to contend with these chain chomps, and as you've said, even with red mail, they can take a pretty good bite.
Uh-oh. We're headed towards the back here.
Well, must be in either Bob's chest or the vanilla room, because we've skipped everything else. And I think the spoiler log does actually call it Bob's chest.
I believe so. I mean, what would you call it otherwise? I swear I didn't look at the spoiler log. This is the only one I'll get close on. I thoroughly enjoyed that Goomba Bunny sprite. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it was a throwback.
I didn't catch it. What was it?
The 8-bit Goomba. Oh, left-hand side.
You were so close. But yes, I was actually looking what the spoiler log calls different places. The Stalfos room in the top left of GT Basement, it actually refers to as DM's room for Dark Magician, which means you have to know the metas well enough to know about Dark Magician strats to be able to understand the spoiler log.
Yeah, that is one of the more interesting names for that. Because, yeah, Dark Magician, for those of you who are unfamiliar, is a strat that used to be a lot more popular back in the day, and you very rarely see a true Dark Magician strat nowadays. Basically how it works is you start by going left, pass the torch, go to the Stalfos room, grab those 4 chests, and then you mirror and you go to the right and go all the way to Ice Armos that way. And you just really, really, really hope that it's not in Fire Snake room, Fire Bar room, or Rando room.
Yeah, these days, a lot of runners, if they want to do something like that, will do a modified version where they do all that, but then don't go full right past Compass Room, and instead go back to the left and do Fire Bar, Fire Snake, and Rando Room.
So I would like to point out here that Pikapals is sitting on 0 small keys for GT. That was a really nice snipe, by the way. You know, I keep trying to say stuff, and then something awesome happens, and I just get derailed. It's ridiculous. But so hopefully in one of these 4 chests up top here, there's a small key, or else we're gonna see a mirror.
Oof! Did you see what Trinex just did to Scruff? That was 2 hearts damage with the neck on red mail.
Yep. Let's be careful.
He cannot afford another hit, but he gets them. Ooh, Pika doesn't quite get the 1 cycle on Landmos, but he promptly gets it on the 2nd.
It's okay, there were some happiness slashes that helped make up the time there.
Ooh, Scruff didn't quite line up that dash right and bonked before the bridge.
Yeah, this game is pretty unforgiving about 2 pixels, let me tell you. Alright, so we have a Goomba taking over... Wait, you can do... What? What? You can do that? Pikapals didn't pick up the pot. He fire rotted the torch without picking up the pot.
Yeah,
Seen anyone.
I'm not sure how that worked. We'll have to ask him in the interview.
What was that? You just broke my brain.
Yeah.
And as we did mention there before, there is a big key up front, so we are okay. Just gotta take out the Worm of Doom. Probably going to avoid this last chest, and then it's off to our agonometry exam. Okay, I feel better. Everyone in chat's going, wait, what happened too? So I'm not the only person who's never seen that happen before.
And meanwhile, Scruff is just entering GT. Unfortunately for him, given where the big key is, wow, that was a beautiful triple on Pikapal's side. I think that only counted as a single, though. No, that was 3-2-1. Wow.
I didn't think that was going to be a double, but sure, 3-2-1. Let's go. All right, and at sub 50 minutes, let's go say hello to the biggie today. Don't let him hug you. Those hurt.
Now, Scruff is going right side. I wonder if there's a safety and compass room he's going for.
Maybe. Might just prefer it.
Who prefers that awful room that you have to go through, the firebar bridge or whatever you want to call it?
I mean, he does have the cape and the cane of Burna, so that's not really something that we're going to be worried too much about.
True. Meanwhile, blink and you'll miss Ganon on Pikapal's side. He is through phase 2.
Yep, like hot butter with bacon, because that's all that's going to be left in a minute here. And with the silvers, this is going to be really... MrScruffNinjaTuna almost getting hit into the void there, but just being able to sneak back out. And here comes out the game.
You know, I guess with that clean execution on Scruff's part, it might actually... Oh, as soon as I say clean execution, he falls. Sorry for the common curse, Scruff. And down goes Ganon on Pikapal's side.
Woo! Alright, so we just have a 1x3 bridge to cross here, and with how well Pikapals handled the rest of the seed, I don't expect this to be much of a problem. And there we go. So get your G's in chat for Pikapals, who finished in first place on this seed with an official SRL time of 51 minutes and 14 seconds. Zoom, zoom.
While Scruff is about to grab his big key, and then he just has a climb ahead of him. Shouldn't be more than a few minutes.
Well, we saw it was in the chest that I guessed there. Just a big 20.
And while MrScruffNinjaTuna is doing his climb, let's get Pikapals in here to explain that torch room.
Yes, because I am very curious. That was definitely something I don't think I've ever seen before at all to any extent. And we are joined by Pikapals. GG, my friend.
Hey, thanks.
So what the heck was going on in that torch room in GT where you used the fire rod to shoot straight through the pot?
Yeah, so there's like a very small pixel window where you can actually clip the fire rod shot through the pot there if you're standing up high enough.
Wow, do you happen to know how many pixels the width is?
Nope. I just know it's small because I fail it a lot.
But figured you'd give it a try anyway.
Yeah, why not? I just remember people in the NMG Discord were talking about trying to make it so you'd use fire rod in that room, and they were finding that that was the only way to make it faster. And even then, it was like not even faster.
Yeah, well, especially if you miss it, it's slower.
Yeah, that fire rod animation takes a while, it turns out.
Also true, though not as bad as the ice rod.
That's for sure.
Look, faster or not, that didn't matter. That was an awesome strat.
It's true. It looks cool, so you have to go for it once.
Oh no, Scruff just took a death and paid the 100 coin penalty, as you could see on top of his sprite there.
Yeah, that is 100 points for the first Goomba jumped on.
That's the problem, you know, with doing such a low heart container run, that things like those spike tiles do 1 heart of damage regardless of your mail. So if you're down to 1 heart, you can't afford to take a hit from them. Yeah, so Pika, what did you think of that massively low health seed?
I was definitely concerned when I was looking through my notes, and it was like, all right, so I've got 1 heart in the well, so I'm 4 hearts until I think Turtle Rock was the next heart container I had marked. It was like, I don't know if I want to be on 4 hearts for the entire seed.
Yeah, so I forget where you even got the 5th heart.
I just picked up 4 random pieces of heart.
Oh.
They were pretty on the way.
Yeah, because I noticed, you know, 2 in Pendant Skull Woods, 1 in Mire Shed when you had no reason to go to the Mire area. They just weren't in good locations.
Yeah, I mean, Mire Shed would have been fine if it wasn't for the Mirror and Desert Big Chest.
Yeah, well, and look at where the hammer then was.
Yeah, just, have to make your loop through the Dark World, go to Hype Cave for your book, get the mirror, go straight over to the bat.
I mean, the only saving grace here is that, you did end up with all 4 swords, you did find silvers, you did find half magic. So that was nice. And since powder was required, you could also kind of take advantage of that a bit. But yeah, in terms of strictly speaking health, there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing to see.
Yeah, other than hearts, the seed was reasonably generous. The swords were all in pretty nice locations, and the silvers were debatable, but they're nice. They're still not in a bad spot. They're just in a maybe this isn't faster spot.
Yeah, because you then had to pick up the extra key was really the only downside of grabbing the silvers.
That's one case where Mire being a crystal would have been nice, because then you could just go, well, silvers are probably saving time on Vidi too, and it makes the decision much easier.
Yeah, it would have made a great excuse to pick up the silver. Instead, I just made up the excuse of, I'm gonna miss Fire Rod, Torch Glitch if I don't pick these up, so I'll grab them.
That is a fair point, and with the lamp being on Purple Chest, that's a bit of time.
Yeah, that's not one anyone's going for. I mean, I guess it isn't.
Well, your opponent went for it, and that's one of the reasons you won, because, it took time.
Yeah, I mean, it isn't terrible, I guess, because you had to do that, you had to do, or more or less had to do hammer pegs. Like, routing in Smith and Purple Chest from there isn't actually that hard.
Yeah.
That's fair. For it being in Purple Chest, it was as along the way as it could have been.
Pretty much. I mean, you're heading straight over to Swamp from there anyway, so it's practically on the way anyway.
So let's take a moment here just because Mr. ScruffNinjaTuna is now on Agate 2. Let's see how his agonometry is. Ooh, just a single there. Does have to watch out here, make sure not to take too many more hits. There we go. Onward to Ganon. And I see your credits coming up. Yeah, Flute 6 minutes, Mirror 10 minutes. It's always great. GT Big Key,
Yeah.
2 out of 22. It's always great seeing that stuff in a spoiler log race.
Yeah, 2 out of 22. That had to be an early big key, right?
Clearly in Hope Room.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Don't
collection
wait
rate.
until
56.
all the way down there.
Yeah, even for a spoiler log race, 56 is on the low side.
Yeah, that's what happens when there are no hearts.
Nice
But-
dash strats here.
Yeah, Scruff also making quick work of the first 2 phases of Ganon.
What was
On to
that?
Phase 3.
There was that one rogue fire bat that always comes after you.
Slashing away at Ganon just to get out some anger here. I understand that feeling. Doesn't get the torch glitch, but got a nice double with the silvers. And another double does it. Get your GGs in for Mr. ScruffNinjaTuna.
Yeah, very nicely done. Doing a Goomba dash towards the top of the screen here. Alrighty, finishing in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour and 18 seconds. So very nicely done, very quick times on both sides.
And we are joined by Mr. ScruffNinjaTuna, GG.
GG.
So, how about that total lack of heart containers?
I just wasn't feeling it. I felt that one was enough until I ran into that spike.
GG on the 4 hearts.
Thank you. I at least got swag. You beat me by a good 10 minutes, but I got swag. I'm okay with that.
Swag is what really matters, isn't it?
Exactly.
So
But yeah.
how about double male ice palace? That one was
God.
fun.
I read that. That was kind of my main deciding factor, is to stay so low on hearts. Because, yeah, they were right there. I was
Yeah.
not going to pass it up.
It's like, man, even the big key was on the way. I ended up just
Exactly.
skipping the red mail, but like it was the nicest red mail for having 2 red mails in Ice Palace.
Right. And I kind of see, I tuned into the stream just as I was climbing GT, so I knew at that point I was already done for. But I gotta ask, other than like Lamp and the Cane, because I figure you didn't go through Bollock's side of pod, you didn't have to deal with delivering the purple chest. Where was like the other 5 minutes from? Because God, that was hella quick.
That was
Yeah, I mean,
definitely really nice.
yeah, I mean, you know, the Smith and the purple chest was probably a minute or 2. The GT death was a few minutes. Now I'm trying to remember what else was there. There was the slight detour for the red mail, but that wasn't huge.
I'm fairly so because you did Houlihan Room, that took a couple minutes as well, because Pikapals just went over and grabbed the boots immediately. So that was a couple minutes that you spent that Pikapals did not.
Oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So,
Oh, and
yeah.
dropping into the back of Escape.
Oh God, that was so stupid.
Oops.
I wrote down go to secret for flippers. And for some reason that translated in my head back of escape.
Yes.
Because at first I was like, wait, why didn't I write down which chest it was, left, middle, or right? I was like, secret for flips. Which one? I was like, oh, crap.
It's okay. You can go get your shovel while you're down there.
So that explains that question we were going to ask.
Yep, that was the reason why I got the shovel. I just really wanted that shovel.
Shovel is true go mode. That's what we learned during the league.
Oh, but man, GG's. That was a fun seed.
So how are you guys? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I am infinitely more pleased to be calming these than racing these for that exact reason. 4 hearts, 5 hearts, 6 hearts. I don't care what mail you have. That is frightening. So GG's to both of you, because that was insane.
And I was just going to ask how you guys, one game in, are feeling about, the spoiler log tournament in general. Gather, what is it, 6 or 7 weeks of Swiss?
I don't even pay attention.
I think it's 7.
But hopefully it's, a nice chill opportunity with these short races.
Oh, yeah. I feel good, even though I lost. I feel good that I only lost by, 9 minutes to Pikapals. Like, pre-game, we were chit-chatting, and I was like, so, how well versed are you with spoiler log? He's like, well, I did play the last year's tournament. I was like, oh? Yeah, I placed in the top 16.
Yeah, last year it was like quals and then a bracket, right?
Yeah.
Last year there were 32 people who came out, so
Also
that was
that.
all.
I feel accomplished that I actually got this close to Pikapals.
I mean, you did well, and if you hadn't done Back of Escape, which was just a silly mistake, wrote down something and switched it out for something else in your head, and then if you hadn't died in GT, you'd be a good 3-4 minutes closer. So, I mean, that's out of that 9 minutes, that's kind of deceiving. You were actually a lot closer for a lot of it. And then, the Houlihan room is just a choice you make in the beginning based upon where you think the bombs are and the rupees and that sort of thing. But really, you did well. You held your own. You started out behind because of the Houlihan room, and then you pretty much stayed right there for most of it. So you did really well.
It was a kind seed.
I don't know that I'd call anything where you're finishing with 4 hearts kind, but, I mean, the routing wasn't terrible, it's just you weren't going to get any health along the way.
It was kind as long as you forget that hearts exist.
Exactly.
I mean, it was nice to give you butter sword and silvers without having to go too far out of your way.
But that hammer location, woof. It took me a moment to realize where I needed to route that in.
Oh, it's okay. We were sitting here laughing at it when we got it too. I was like, oh, the hammer's there? Oh no, where's the mirror?
Yeah, and then, the mirror's there? Where's the book?
Yep.
But yeah, so I think that's about gonna wrap it. I guess we'll let MrScruffNinjaTuna's credits finish so we can see what his collection rate was. Probably about 60, I'm guessing.
Yeah, mine's probably gonna be like 60. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh Jesus. You'll see in a sec. I mean, that's still low for me. Here, oh wait, it's already passed. I can't fast forward. Dang it.
But you did the Smith chain, you did that drop into the Back of Escape. It's still funny, like, all those first whatever times being sub 10, except the mirror, it's, 13.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Go Mode was sub 30 for both of you, even with a couple of we'll just go ahead and say fun locations. The hammer kind of being out of the way, and then, you know, Red Cane sitting in Pendant Swamp because it's always Pendant Swamp.
Yeah, no diver
Of
down
course.
today for that. Although I could have used the bomb to method. Yeah, there we go. 67 out of 216.
Yeah, I ended up using the bomb method.
I figured
you
since I
know-
had to go to waterfall first, it wasn't that big a thing.
Yeah, at least the cane being in Pendant Swamp gave you a good excuse to go for the sword.
Exactly.
Well, we should probably wrap things tonight. GG's to you both again. And do give these runners a follow as well. You know, they both executed quite well, especially for this seed that gave ridiculously little health. And they'll be playing for another 6 weeks through the Swiss rounds at least. Also, thank you to our tracker, Dark Diplomat. If you're watching a Link to the Past Randomizer restream, it's probably Dark Diplomat on tracker.
That is fair, and these spoiler log races are much more difficult. You have to keep track of everything because the items come so fast. So, shout outs to him and shout outs to both of our runners because that was, you guys picked up 4 hearts between you, and that's not really a whole lot.
And Hammer, it was great doing comms with you again.
Oh yeah, it's always a blast to com with you, Drosy. I am always pleased to join you in the booth. If you guys have not quite had enough rando, there is one more race on tonight. It's currently underway, but if you don't mind watching the end of it, should be about half an hour to 35 minutes in. Yoinker's Wife versus Canadian Major on the regular old standard speed gaming channels. Go check that out. There are also a boatload of races going on tomorrow and Wednesday and through the week. So keep track of that schedule because you're going to get every single amount of spoiler log that you want. You can just come on here and chill out because we're going to have 3 races by the boatloads. So stay tuned on that one.
And with that, thanks again for watching and have a great evening.